In this video we are going to discuss about the compound effect. The compound effect exists in many domains and we are going to talk specifically about the compound effect in trading. But before that I want to give you an example because there is a really nice story around the internet. It's called something like the rice and the chessboard story. And it's a story, it's one of those old stories that we don't know exactly where it came from. And but some people say it's around India or the Arabic countries it happened, somewhere in that area. So you might want to research online if you like this story. It's around the year 1200 it happens, when the chessboard was invented, around that time. And they say that a very smart guy was brought in front of the king because the king had to reward him about something. The guy was very smart and he told the king that he wants to be rewarded with a grain of rice for the first square of the chessboard. So you know the chessboard has 64 squares, and for every square he wanted that grain of rice to be double. We have here an image for the first square, 1 grain, the second, 2 grains, the third one, 4 grains, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and so on. And the story says that until the end of the chessboard, they arrived to the entire reserve of rice that that country had. So that guy became very rich. I don't know if the story is true because I don't think that the king would really gave him all that rice and starve all the country because some smart guy. But it's a very good story. It's a story about the power of compound, because it seems like what you want a grain of rice for the first square and you want it to double for every piece of square until the scoreboard ends, and that's it. It seems nothing, but there are like, so the number, it's astronomical. It's like 9 trillions of grains of rice, and that's like, it's as big as the Mount Everest it gets. So it gets very big. You can calculate that if you want, but it's crazy. So this is the power of the compound effect, and it applies also in trading. So that's what actually is going to make you rich in trading, the power of compound effect combined with consistency. So it's not the strategy or whatever you do or risking too much. That's the trap, actually. So the strategies and the techniques are the trap, because all those gurus on the internet, they would like to sell you a very expensive course that does not work. The other trap with the risk is the market wants that money from you. I mean, everyone wants you to lose from the market. The compound effect and the consistency are the only things where you have real control over those. So 100% control you have over those. So let's see, how does this work? It's very simple. Let's assume that we have an account that is $1,700 and you decide to risk per trade 2%, and that's $34. So on the first trade you win a 1 to 3, so you make 3 Rs, account size $1,700, risk per trade, so 1 R it's $34. 3 Rs are going to be $102, so you made $102 on this trade. The next trade, let's see, is going to be the same, 1 to 3, but now look what happens. Your account size is not $1,700 anymore, it's $1,700 plus 102, so that's $1,800. And now your R, you're risking the same, you still risk 2% per trade, but you apply that 2% to this amount because you have a win. So your R, 1 R, it's now $36, it's $2 extra you can risk. So if you made a 1 to 3, you don't make 102 anymore, now you make 108. And guess what? Let's say you make a 1 to 2 next. Now your account is bigger, it's $1,910. Now you can risk 38 by 2.2, 76.4. Next, let's say you make another 1 to 2. Now your account is bigger, you can risk 39.7, so you make 79.4. So now you can risk 39.7. On the next one, let's say you make a 1 to 4. So now your account size is $2,065. 2%, 41.3. So you see, that by the fifth winning trade for $1,700, you arrive to a little over 2,000. So that's progress. That means progress and profits and so on. 4x41.3, it's 165. Going forward, now our account it's $2,231, 2%, 44.6. You make 44.6. Let's say you make 2 hours, and your account gets bigger and bigger. Then you take a loss, let's say, and this is the greatest thing. You take a loss, and your loss, if you respect your loss, will not be 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours. It's going to be always 1 hour. So from 2,365, you just lose 2%, 1 hour, 47. That's it. But the loss is smaller than any trade, apart from the trade where you make 1-to-1 or a little less, but those have to be rare. So this is the power of the compound effect. You see that here I have an address, myfxboot.com, Forex calculators, compounding calculator. So we are going to go on this address where we have a compounding calculator. And this is the calculator on the myfxbook. And here you can calculate what profits you are going to have after an amount of time if you apply the compound effect. Let's say that you have $5,000 and you have been trading for 1 year. Let's say that you had 2 trades per week. So this means that you had 104 trades for that year. And let's say that you lost about 20%. You lost about 20% of the number of those trades. So this means that you had 80 winning trades. So we are going to write here 80. And let's say that the win per trade, let's say that you have 1-to-1s, you have 1 to 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So let's try 2 of them. Let's say that the average is 2 hour. Let's start with 2 hour. So 2 hour will be 2%. Just hit calculate. So you can see here, the first trade you have 5,000. You make 2 hours, you make 2%, and that brings you $100. But then the hours, the percentage is applied to this balance and so on. So at the end of this period, you'll not have 5,000, but you'll have 24,300. So you can make those calculations as much as you want, if you do not believe this. But this is why I'm talking about consistency and compounding, because it's very powerful on a long period of time. And this is your profit, actually. Let's modify this. Let's make 1%. So your profit is going to be 6,000. If you make only 1%, so that's per trade. But let's say you make more. Let's say your average is 3 hours per trade. So it starts to be a lot. 48,000. Let's say your account is $10,000. At the end, you made almost $100,000. Let's say you have 50 trades per year, and we want to calculate $10,000 account in 3 years. So it will be 150 with an average of 2 hours. So you see $185,000 in 3 years. So that's another salary. Let's say it like that, but at the end of the period, attention. So it's not like you'd really have a salary every month. It doesn't work like that. But you can buy a house with those money. Like in, I know countries where you can buy 3 houses with those money. But yeah, in Europe, UK, USA, I'm sure you can. I'm not sure about USA, but in UK you can buy a pretty nice house with those money in a pretty good place. And in Europe, in Italy, wherever, you can buy a pretty good house, or you can build one, who knows. So this is the power of compounding. Now, if you do your back testing and you see how good is your strategy, you can get an idea of what the performance could be, and you can make a calculation. There is only one thing that I want to tell you. Don't use this to dream around building houses and buying cars, because it's going to hurt you more. It's going to distract you more, and you're going to think that your strategy does something, but maybe it's not doing because you didn't do that bash testing, you didn't put the work in. Just put the work in, and when you're sure it works, you can use this compounding calculator if you need to.